Hey guys, welcome. Marcy here, the Cranky Crafter. It's Fodder Friday. We're back with the watercolors, and we're going to be making fish. And not just any fish, but super cute, colorful puffer fish. They don't have to be puffer fish. You can make the fish however you want them. In fact, I actually have a couple different ones, but look. Oh, isn't he fun? And then I have ones that look like this. They can be little chunky ones. They can be little slender ones. Got a little puffer one like that. These guys, I have to admit, a little bit fiddly to cut out. But here they look on the paper, still complete. So you could leave them, on your paper if you didn't want to cut them, like fussy cut them, or you could just cut them maybe into squares so that you don't have to fussy cut around them. I don't think you have to fussy cut. It is quite fiddly, but it's doable. It's doable. So I've got my little container of water. I've got my palette with some colors that are already ready to go. I've activated them already, so they already are moving. For those new to the channel and new to my watercolor videos, I kind of like the consistency to be like maple syrup, for lack of a better word. It's really a personal preference, and it honestly depends on what kind of art you're doing too. Like fodder is, very forgiving. So if you get like too much water, it's not really a big deal. If you were doing like a fancy painting, well, then you should probably be watching somebody else, because Marcy doesn't do fancy paintings. We do whimsical mostly on this channel. So I have two sizes of my brushes today. I have an 8 round and a 6 round. It doesn't have to be this brand. Use whatever you have. Doesn't even have to be this size. You just will, I think, want one to do the bodies, and then one to do more of the, like the fins and the little like spiky bits, the puffery. What are they? Are they spikes on the puffer fish? I don't know if that's what they're called. And then we can embellish, with like paint pens or whatever. So I have my 90-pound watercolor paper here. And all we're going to do is just dip in. We're going to go. We're going to go, you guys. This video might actually end up being out of order a little bit. Not like the video itself, but like, I think I'm doing the fish now for Fodder Friday, but I might do a project prior to this with the fish. I don't know yet. I don't know how it's going to work out. So just pretend everything's in the right order when you get to this bit. Because it might not be in the right order. And that's okay. Because there's really no rules. And you know what? I'm in charge, so I get to decide. So all we're doing is making, once again, blobs or circles, ovals, whatever shape. I suppose you could even do them square if you wanted, but we're going to go with something round. Doesn't have to be perfectly round, but just round. And this is going to end up being the body of your fish. So right now we're just going to go through and make a bunch of roundish shapes, and then we'll come back and add, well, scratch that, rewind. We could go ahead and add the fins now. Let's do that. If we're going to do the 2 little fins on each side, we should add those now. And the tail, if it's going to have a tail. This will make more sense once I do it. So for the tail, let's just make a tail on this one. You're just basically going to make a triangle with the pointy bit attached to the body. Does that make sense? Now that needs to dry, because when we come back and do the little triangle for the fin, if we don't wait for it to dry, then the colors will all merge together. If we wait for it to dry, or if we use our dryer and make sure that this bit is completely dry, then it will just add another layer of color. Let me see if I can find it. So like for this one, it's the same color, but I waited for the whole body to dry and then I drew on the triangle. So it looks like it's a little bit darker, even though I pulled from the exact same place on my palette, because it's almost like 2 layers of the color. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do purple. And can do this one like maybe more oval if we want. You can make them, you know, bigger, smaller, however you want it to be. Okay, I'm going to give this one, instead of a tail, I'm going to give it 2 little like side fins. Same idea. Like if I left it like that, it would just look like that one, right? With one. But I'm going to make this one looking like he's looking at us straight on. So I want these to kind of be like his flippers. Like that. And so we need to wait for that to dry. So let's keep making, we'll just keep making blobs. Keep making circle type shapes. And if, you know, if it's not a perfect, it's got like a little swoop or something, don't worry. You can cut it when you fix it. Like you can fix it when you cut it. Can't use my words today. That. There's that one. All right, what color do we want now? How about orange? While we're on here and everybody's together, I want to give a huge shout out to Jenny over at Jenny's Crafty Corner. And I'll link her below. She's actually having a giveaway because she has reached 500 subscribers, which is amazing. Congratulations. But there are rules that go along with the giveaway. You know, I think you have to have watched, well, you have to be a subscriber. You have to like the video itself. I think you have to have watched like 4 of her past videos. I'm not going to tell you that I have all of the rules down, so I'm going to link it in the description so that you can go check it out if you would like to see what it's about. And the fun thing about her giveaway is she's going to do like a Q&A afterwards. So she's having everybody kind of asking her a question about whatever. It doesn't have to be about, you know, crafts, I guess. And then she's going to kind of do like a Q&A. So that'll be fun. But everybody should go over there anyway just to congratulate her, because that's a huge achievement. I think I'm at like, I don't know, 3 something. And it's kind of funny because every once in a while I'll be at like a certain number and then I'll have subscribers go away. So I don't know. I'm sure it's me. I'm sure they get on there and they're like, oh boy, she just yammers on, and who the heck wants to watch that? Okay, we'll do one more. I don't need to fill this whole sheet because that's going to take so long. We'll do one more. How about we do another front-facing one? I can always finish the sheet when we're not together. Okay, this one's a little large and in charge. fine. And you'll see, for these, I'm not really dropping in any other color. You totally could. If you want them to be more, you know, rainbowy or whatever, drop in some color. I just wanted them to be like just simple. So that's what I did. Might need to make that fin a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so now this all has to be dry. So I'm gonna pause you and use the dryer. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna switch over to my 6, which makes, which is a little bit smaller, to do the next bits. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna dip into the same color, but we're gonna make a little triangle for its fin. And then if we want it to be like a puffer fish, we'll make some little like V's around to make it look like the little spiky bits. If you don't want a puffer fish, you could also make these little, like almost like the scales, just in a few spots, and that's fine too. It's really what speaks to you when you're doing it. Maybe you don't like puffer fish. Maybe they're not even called puffer fish and I'm totally just making that up, but we're here and that's what we're saying. So we're just gonna make another triangle and that's gonna be its fin. And then we're gonna have to let that dry. But in the meantime, we'll come through and make the little spiky bits. So you don't want a ton of paint on your brush. So oftentimes I will kind of just put the point of my brush on my cloth or paper towel or whatever I have handy there. And then I'm just gonna kind of make V's like that. I should have started at the top. If you've been around for a while, you know that I always don't do that. And then I always have to worry that I'm gonna run my hand through the paint. So you're like, why don't you just start at the top? I don't know. Because when I think of it, I'm already done with the bottom. That's why. And then I do the same thing inside here, making little, like, you could either say upside down V's or triangles without one of the lines. And then down here, I'm gonna make regular V's to go down, like the spikes are going down this way, or the pointy bits, you know? So that one, that little guy is done. Now, let's do the purple one. I started my job. I know I'm probably gonna have maybe a couple of other videos. Let's start on the top this time before we get to this one. So I might have already spoken about that, but I can't keep track of all the different Marcies. It's the Marcy of the future, the Marcy of the past, Marcy of the present. I can't know. But at this point in time, I've had one day of my new job. And boy howdy, can I tell you, it's a lot for this brain to retain. Yep, it is. Lots for this brain. Just a lot of, like, there's like 4 different computer software programs I have to learn how to use and use them like simultaneously. Oftentimes need to use them, you know, together. Yeah, so this should be interesting. I'm capable. Of course I'm capable. It just is going to be a challenge. It's going to take time. And an even more challenging bit is that this position doesn't actually exist currently. So there's not really a like specific person to, I'm going to do this one while I already have green on my brush. There's not really a specific person, you know, in charge of, like, that's doing this job right now. So there's nobody really specifically to train me. So I'm like basically shadowing, which is fine. I mean, shadowing definitely is better than not shadowing. It's just then that person is trying to do their, you know, normal duties in addition to training me, and I don't need to be trained on all of the duties. So I'm like a little bit worried about how I'm supposed to discern which duties are for me. I think it's going to be a work in progress, but I think it'll be good. I just have to allow myself some grace on not getting it right away. And I'm not always very good at that. Like, you know, I tell myself I should already know how to do this. I haven't even started, barely, right? But I should already know how to do it. That doesn't make sense. I think we're the hardest on ourselves. Like, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't say that to my best girlfriend. Like, what are you doing? You should already know how to do this. Or why aren't you picking this up fast enough? What? No, I wouldn't say that to her. But do I say it to me? Yeah. I know. Doesn't make any sense. And here we are. So a couple of these I'm just making little like scales. What maybe will look like scales. I don't know. Still waiting on my printer cartridges. Okay, what are we doing? This is a front-facing guy. So we're going to do some puffer bits. I can't like jump into my what I want to do for Amanda's design team until I can print out everything I need. And I can't do that until I have my printer cartridges. And there's poor weather, apparently, where they're coming from. And so it's kind of held them up. It's fine. Nobody's, you know, nobody's going to miss out on anything if I'm a little bit behind. I know some of the other gals have already like busted out journals and, you know, the like printed out the packets and everything. And I'm like, wait up, guys. Wait for me. Okay, I have to dry this. I'll be right back. Okay, now we get to put on the even funner bits, which is like the pen and paint markers, whatever. So I have some acrylic paint markers. These happen to be Poscas, but you use whatever you have. I have a black pen to do outlining. This is a 0.35, so small. So what we want to do now is, well, what I do is give them some lips. You could also have done the lips in whatever color you know, made your fish, or just done it with watercolors, period. Doesn't even have to be the same color. But I like pen sketch marks with my watercolors. So I put on little lips like that. And I don't put those kinds of lips on the front-facing fish. I do a different kind. Come on, look at that little, okay. So now I'm gonna outline everything. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I decided I'm gonna do something else. I just lied. Let's do let's do part of their eyes first so it has time to dry. I'm using a big Posca. It's where's the number? 1.8 to 2.5 millimeters. And I'm just gonna make like an eyeball. Just make it wherever you think it looks funny or cute. I guess it doesn't have to be funny. So this one, since he's front facing, I want him to have 2 eyeballs because these guys are side view. This is a front view. But this will give the Posca a little bit of time to dry. Because we're gonna come in, you know, and add little black bits to it. Oh, now I just made that one bigger. Okay, yep. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, back to this sketch pen. We put the lips in. So the next bit is to trace around everything. Normally, I like to do things twice when I trace around. But this one, since it has all the little fiddly bits, I haven't been doing that. So I'm just going around and doing the little, like, triangles around the spiky bits. I don't trace behind the lips, but you could if you wanted. So you guys can already see how that's probably a little bit fiddly when you cut it out. And then I trace around a little fin, and I kind of just do like some little lines and then make some little like ruffly bits. And then I can also do this here like that. And then you're essentially going to go through and do it to the rest of them. I don't gather I need to do all of these while we're on camera. That might be kind of boring for you. I suppose you could, if you didn't want to use your watercolors for the little spiky bits, you could just use your sketch pen too. That would be fine, I bet. All right, which other one should we do? How about we do this one? Because that kind of gives us one of each. Now, like for this one, I can go around a second time because it doesn't have all the bits, all the pointy bits. Okay, now, what now? Now I'm gonna get my black Posca pen and put little black bits in the eyeballs. Am I still in screen? I am. Okay, and you can do this like however you want, the little black bit. And then I finish it all the way around like that. So I put little eyeballs and then draw around like that. Now, for these guys, they still need a mouth because they didn't get lips. So you can do that bit however you want, but I think it's funny if you kind of do it like wavy and then you color it in like that. Oh boy. And like that. Okay, and then I just come back in with my white one, and maybe I should use a smaller one. I don't know if this has any paint in it. We'll try it and make like a little dot. Oh yeah, it does. Like that. That's it, you guys. You better hush up. Look at that. Look at that, how cute that is. All right, let's try to cut this strip out, and then I'll do the rest on my own. We'll start with the easy one. the easy one to cut. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, do you want to give him, I knew I had pink out here for a reason. We can give him some cheeks if we want. Little rosy cheeks like that. This one need a cheek. I'll put it on this one. I'm gonna leave that one without a cheek. Maybe I'll add it later if I want. This one, not hard to cut out at all. I mean, you know, it's fussy cutting still. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like the little puffer ones. Like that. There. OMG. Okay. So now I did it 2 different ways, and I've decided that keeping it as a continuous cutting bit is better than, I did one before where I cut this whole thing out as a circle, and then I came in and cut the little spikes. Yeah, I didn't really care for that as well. Not that I'm fond of this much fiddliness, but you know, sometimes there's pain when you do art. It's not really pain, you know what I mean. So yeah, now that I have this new job, I work Monday through Friday, and I have Saturday and Sunday off. Whereas before, at the barn, it was much more physical labor, but I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and had Friday through Monday off. So, you know, all has its pros and cons. Look at that one. Okay. And then this one. If you've ever followed, oh, what's her name? Andrea. She does tons of watercolor on all the social platforms. I feel like she made some of these. Andrea, oh, what's her last name? Nelson? Don't quote me on that. But I feel like she made some of these at one point. I don't know if she cut them out. I can't remember. Or if she like left them on the paper. Either way, I'm pretty sure she did something like this. Because she's made so many different things in watercolor. Probably every single thing she's done. She's amazing. Okay, there it is. Look at that. And you know, you could have gone over them with splatters if you wanted to before, or even now that they're cut out, you still could. Holy puffer fish. Look at those. Are so cute. You guys better just shut up right now. These ones make me laugh. They all make me laugh, but these ones, although these guys' lips are funny. Almost looks kind of like they could go on a duck. All right, that's a wrap on Fodder Friday. We did fish, Fodder Friday fish. And if you could like and subscribe, that would be amazing. If you have ideas for things to have on Fodder Friday, that would be great too. Doesn't even have to be watercolor. Although that's what I tend to gravitate towards. Could be anything that's like fodder, you know, related that we can cut out and put into our journals, junk journals, art journals, spreads, whatever it is. If you have ideas, list them below. I'm making a list. I'm keeping a running list because other people have given me suggestions too. So yes, that's it. Go check out Jenny's channel. I'll link it below so you can check out everything that she's got going on. She's on the design team too that I just got the opportunity to work on. So maybe you might like to follow along with her. And I'll see you next time.